Okay, everyone, just give me a.
Yeah.
And so the first person we have up is Carlos Alfredo Vasquez. Hopefully everyone had a decent lunch break. Who is the party on Vasquez?
Mr. Vasquez and me, Judge. Doug Campbell. The wide awake Doug Campbell.
I'll be good, Your Honor.
All right. Brenda,
Here to move.
right away.
I did move. My connection was unstable, but it's good now.
Wow. Okay.
That's the same background you had earlier, Meredith.
He moved to Europe.
Mr. Vasquez, you're able to mute and unmute yourself because there's some feedback coming on your end from other people who are there. What's going to end up happening is when I need you to respond, I will unmute you. Do you understand?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And everyone, just give me one moment. Bernard, I don't know what's up with the temperature. Sometimes it's cold in the office, then sometimes it's super hot in the office. Who knows? All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 2691, State of Texas versus Carlos Vasquez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Doug Campbell for Mr. Vasquez.
And are you Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Judge.
Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's State jail felony, the range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I understood, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
You understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
You understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a
Very
U.S.
satisfied. I'm sorry.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen, Your Honor.
Brenna, you know what, off the record, you know what is hilarious? When people are on Zoom and you can't hear what they're saying, why is it that we lean in and we turn to, what? So, these are questions I have, right? All right, Mr. Vasquez, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. It will take in consideration 2021 CR 0827. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. To review that paragraph with your attorney, did you understand it? It's electronically signed in both places.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours of community service restitution, MRT, CATS 2, and no contact with Easy Pond and Dollar Tree. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right, for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses and call the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
I could hit the mute button. Yes, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, from what I understand in talking with Carlos, he is able to get a job, and he's going to find a new apartment. He wants to get this behind him as quickly as possible so they could become a productive member of society again.
All right, Mr. Vasquez. Well, before I ask you some questions, Mr. Vasquez, why is there no contact with the Dollar Tree?
The second case, Judge, has the Dollar Tree as the complaining witness or complaining party.
All
That
right,
was the one that was dismissed. As
all
part
right.
of
And the second case, is that a theft as well?
It is.
Yes, Judge.
All right, what are people alleged to have taken from Dollar Tree? I mean, everything is pretty much on sale. I think the name Dollar Tree says it all.
Judge, it was less than $5 of goods. And from what my client tells me, it was things that he needed when he was homeless to care for his hygiene.
What is he doing? I mean, are you washing in the creek or something? What items were from the Dollar Tree? Mr. Vasquez, what items were from the Dollar Tree?
I apologize, Your Honor. The fact is that I had bought some stuff the day before, and I walked in. I bought 10 items the day
Mr.
before.
Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
I always tell people, listen to the question that's asked of you and only answer that question. I think your attorney would probably appreciate that.
Yes, Your Honor.
So my question is, what was taken from the Dollar Tree? Because I'm racking my mind trying to figure out what is it that's at the Dollar Tree that's for your homeless situation.
Honestly, Your Honor, if I would have, I honestly don't remember, Your Honor.
Okay, that's a correct answer. That's fine. If you don't remember, you don't remember. So what are your issues? Why are you homeless?
Not anymore, Your Honor. I have talked to my family, and they've came to an agreement that they're gonna try to help me get somewhere.
So why
to stay.
were you homeless?
I was homeless because I was having mental health issues because I had been a drug addict for about since I was like 20 to like around that time, and I've been sober for about 9 months by myself. I didn't go to any rehab.
What were you using?
Um,
I'm sorry, just give me one moment, please.
On rare occasions, yes, it does. Like when I'm like, by myself or like, when I'm just thinking too much, yeah, it does bother me. But other than that, yes, Your Honor, I agree. Slightly. Yes, Your Honor, I agree. No, no. Keep it down. Yes, Your Honor, I do. 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 Long time ago. That was back in 2017, but I don't do it. For about 2 months.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Yeah. Little bit of both, and if that can be possible. Like, there's some days where I can be accepted, and some days where, I have to visit. I'm on a distance.
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Right now.
Mr. Bass, I send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mary, did you need to talk to your client?
Yes, please.
All right, everyone, I'm back. Sorry for that interruption. So, Mr. Vasquez, the last question I asked you was, what were you using? So what drugs were you using?
It's very embarrassing to say that I was using.
I'm sorry, just one moment. Could you repeat that, please?
I'm very embarrassed to say that I was using methamphetamine.
Here's the thing, Mr. Vasquez, this is what I would always tell my clients when I was a defense attorney. I would tell them, yes, it's okay to be embarrassed, but life is a journey. And we're just hoping when we look back our journey, we'll see where we come from, and we're not going to be in the same place we were in before, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the first part of dealing with your problem is recognizing you have one, right? So
Yeah,
you were using meth, and what else?
that was it.
No
I-
marijuana.
No marijuana, no ma'am.
And what else have you used in the past other than meth?
When I was in high school, I tried marijuana. Yes.
Here we go, Brenda, leaning in again. Okay, I'm gonna
When
keep your voice up.
Oh, yes, ma'am. When I was in high school, I did try marijuana, Your Honor, but I've never been a big drug user like that, or a big drinker or anything like that. It was just whenever I tried meth that's what really created my downfall.
Okay, I need you to speak up, sir.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, just keep your voice up.
Okay.
So you said meth started your downfall.
Yes, I've never been a big a drug user. I've never been a drug user really. I tried marijuana when I was in high school, but it never stuck to me like that. But when the day that I tried the other drug, I did have a very hard impact in my life, and eventually I was really good. I'm a licensed barber, and I also have very good computer skills, data entry, and all
So
that type of
how old
stuff.
were you when you first used meth?
Um, I quit about nine months ago that I've been sober, not even alcohol, and it was 2 years before that.
So how old were you when you first started using?
I want to say I was 28, 29.
Right. So this is my question for you, and it's really a question for all the people out there, because I've seen people start using meth and cocaine and heroin, and they're like 50. And I'm always curious. Did you not know meth was a drug you become addicted to? Like, why are you trying meth? Why are people trying marijuana? Do young people not know that these are drugs that will lead you down the path of destruction, being homeless, family putting you out because they're like, we can't trust you at home? Did you not know that meth was a drug you probably should not be using? Well, not probably, you shouldn't be using meth.
Honestly, Your Honor, I've been independent. I was independent all my life, and my one of my friends that I thought was a friend, he introduced me to it, and I didn't see it coming so fast, and I quickly.
So you're experiencing peer pressure at 26?
It wasn't.
Doug Campbell, does peer pressure ever stop?
I'm sure it does at some point, once all your friends are gone, maybe.
Yes, exactly. I'm
All
sorry.
right. So, Mr. Vasquez, do you have any children?
I do not have children. I have a pet though. I can't wait to see him. I love him so much. I prayed for a family.
Wait, what pet is this?
This is a blue fawn pit bull. He has special needs, and I take so much care for him.
Wait a minute. What are his special needs?
He's deaf, so he could only hear 20%.
So where is he? I mean, you're homeless. Where is he?
He's at my mother's house now.
Okay. You know, I always tell people, when you're going to take the rough road using meth and using drugs, don't take other people with you. Don't take your animals with you. Your animals don't want to live on the street. They like a nice backyard. They didn't pay for that.
No, I honestly, that's exactly pretty much one of the biggest reasons why I kind of really stopped all of that. I started working out. I started ever since I got my pet. I started working out. I started changing my lifestyle. I got a job.
Okay, does your mom want you living with her, really?
I'm not gonna go to my mom's. I have a good plan and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out.
Well, what is your plan?
I'm a licensed professional barber and.
But I mean, where are you gonna be? Do you have a place to stay? If you're released today at 1 a.m., which is probably when you're gonna be released,
Okay.
where are you going from the Bexar County Jail to where?
So first thing that I'm gonna do is I have a bit of money on my credit card, and
Mhm.
more than likely I'm gonna get a hotel right away. Then I'm gonna visit my mother, and I'm going to talk to her about please taking care of my pet for about 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
for sure I'm going to be. I will have a place by then because I do have a lot of clientele in the barber industry, and I have a job lined up and all of that.
All right, well, if you end up staying with your mom, remember this. When you stay and live with at somebody else's house, you are not an adult. That means you follow their rules. If they have a curfew for you, that's your curfew. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And make sure that when you walk your dog, that you clean up after your dog.
I do. Yes, Your Honor. Sorry.
All right, make sure you do that. And dogs, contrary to popular beliefs, animals are not the way they were when I was growing up. You need to make sure they go to the vet. They need to be spayed or neutered. Brent, I just did a Bob Barker thing from, The Price is Right, but that's true.
No, Your Honor. He has the COVID shot already as well.
They're giving COVID shots to dogs now?
Yes, yes. It's the
Okay, I didn't, Doug Campbell, I did not know that.
I treat him like.
But not children under 12.
Not children in jail. Okay. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. $1,000 fine, probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. 80 hours of community service restitution. I will deduct 40 hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine. If you've already had it, then just show proof of that. Again, for the record, I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccine. You don't have to get it if you don't want to get it. However, if you have received it or you're going to get it, 40 hours will be deducted. And then there's going to be the MRT. The MRT is basically to help you adjust your brain right. Follow the rules. Basically, that's what the MRT is. Life is very easy if people will just follow the rules. They're going to ask you to do CATS 2. Here's my theft course. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. Don't go into any homes or any buildings unless you're invited. And whomever invites you in, when they ask you to leave, you need to leave.
Yes,
That's my 2-minute course, but guess what? They say they can give you a theft course and it takes a little bit longer. There's to be no contact with Easy Pawn or the Dollar Tree.
Understood, Your Honor.
Take in consideration 2021 CR 0827. Are you able to report by Zoom? Do you know how to Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's going to be regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if something happens and you can't Zoom, you're going to have to do it in person.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random. Going to want random UAs. You can do random UAs or the patch. Proof of employment. Within 20 days, there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or any employment involving minors. And I'm going to start you off with outpatient treatment with probation. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Vasquez, is there anything else that you need in order for you to be successful?
Maybe help getting my license, my driver's license.
That's something that you'll have to speak to your attorney about. But my understanding, if you go online you can get your license that way.
Okay,
And that's just my basic understanding of it. Because if there are other complications with your license, you may have to report in person. But I know there are plenty of people who renew and get their driver's license online.
okay. Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm making an assumption that you've already passed your driver's license test.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because I read this report. All right. All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
And
Your
did you
Honor.
electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, from here on out, everything that you do, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this decision, could it result in me being revoked and going to the state jail facility for 2 years? That'll be 2 years without your dog. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
We can go off the record. I always give people who use drugs this story, and it's a true story because I love to watch documentaries. Do you know the band Aerosmith?
Yes, Your Honor.
Steven Tyler.
Yes, Your Honor.
Steven Tyler, the entire band, all the 80s band, not all, I don't want to generalize, but majority of them said they used heavy drugs, cocaine, heroin. Some of them even said they were shooting up alcohol straight in their veins. They're like, it was something to do. So he has been clean and sober for a long time. And he said a news report came on television where this guy had overdosed from heroin. And he said the first thing that came into his mind was that must have been some good heroin. Then he realized automatically, oh my gosh, I need to, go back and talk to my sponsor and everything. So I tell you that to tell you this. The people who are making meth, some of them, who knows? Maybe it's a Breaking Bad situation. Maybe they know chemistry, but a majority of the time they don't. They're just mixing this and that together. You may end up with a bad batch and you may end up not making it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So when you leave the jail and they release you and you think or feel like you're going to use, what you need to do is find some AA or NA meeting there throughout the city. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Campbell, you can go to breakout room number 1 or you can be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Mark Bass.
I'm here, Judge.
Yes, and your client is Ms. Rangel?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
PTD.
Okay, I'll send you to breakout room number 2 to confer.
Oh, no, we're ready, Judge. All the documents are signed and we're good to go.
All right, let me see if I have documents in my email. Just one moment.
All right.
Ah, and as I
No.
don't. Just 1 second. Sometimes my mailbox, it takes it a while for it to come through. There it is. To the clerks, you should have paperwork coming back on Rangel.
Thank you.
All right, Mary Peterzak, have you conferred with the state on Mr. Campbell?
Yes, Judge. I think we're ready to move forward on the offer today. We just need to get the paperwork started. Was that something that the court wanted to take care of today?
Yes, if you'll let the court coordinator know what the agreement is, just put it in the chat box. We'll take care of that. And your client is in breakout room number 3.
I left him in there. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, are the parties ready on Rangel? Mark Basso. I'm sorry, Mark Bass.
Here, Judge.
Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Brenda, we're going to see if this works for us. And again, why does it do that? It works now. I don't know why it does that. All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 6786W, State of Texas versus Mitchell Rangel. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Marco Bass for the defense.
And are you Miss Rangel?
Yes, I'm Michelle.
All right, no problem. How do you pronounce your first name?
It's Michelle, but my birth certificate, they misspelled it. They added a T, and I just never got it fixed.
Okay. All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Ms. Rangel, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Judge.
Are you the same Mitchell Rangel who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 6786W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, Plea Group 1 gram to 4 grams on July 2nd, 2018 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Judge.
All right, state.
Condition number 1, on or about the 27th day of July, 2021, Michelle Rangel, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did offer, confer, or agree to confer benefit, to wit, lawful currency of the United States of America, to Maria Ramos, who was a prospective witness in an official proceeding, to wit, felony drug court review or motion to adjudicate guilt, with intent to influence Maria Ramos to testify falsely in the official proceeding.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
We'll waive the rest, Judge.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objections.
Right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge. It is to adjudicate, revoke, and sentence her to 2 years TDC. And in exchange for a plea of true, we agreed to reject or TIC any cases that arise out of the number 1 that I read that occurred on July 27, 2021.
Is that the agreement?
That is the agreement, Judge.
Ms. Rangel, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. So the question becomes, why should I follow that agreement?
Well, I've done rehab, inpatient. I didn't finish it, and drug court is a good program. Unfortunately, I didn't get to complete it. I got MTR'd on it. The reason I think that you should, grant me this is because before in treatment, I kind of wanted to just get through it to be over and done with it. And the truth of it was is that I wasn't ready to change. What I've learned from drug court and from the time that I was in DDRF is something that I can use with me, with my life, doing NA classes and just redirecting people, places, and things was my problem.
What were you, that whole thing about changing people, places, and things, everybody learns that from the time they step into a drug program.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what were you trying to get somebody to testify falsely about?
About a urine test.
So it appears to me that you didn't learn anything.
Yeah, I did.
Because I mean, you were placed in the program. The number one thing about being actively in a program that requires sobriety is being honest. Being honest with the people around you and being honest with yourself. So for you wanting to pay somebody to testify falsely about whether, and I'm sure it's about your UA being positive, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were not following the rules. You were continuing to be actively in your addiction, and then you tried to cover up that you were actively in your addiction.
There's no excuse for it, Your Honor. I panicked and there's no excuse for it at all. I made a bad choice.
So again, we're back to, why should I follow this agreement? Because you took up somebody's spot. I've just been telling people there's a waiting list of felony drug court. You took up somebody's spot, somebody else who was actually going to work the program and started trying to continue to use. You took up their spot. And when you were doing that, you were not thinking about your children. And I know you have children because I required that you do the I Heart parenting classes. Did you even do that?
I never got that.
You do any parenting classes?
Okay.
I ordered parenting classes.
Okay. Yes,
No, I know.
I haven't done it.
You haven't done any of that.
No.
So how old are your children and where are they now?
My child is 5 and he's with my mom. She's got custody of him.
I'm sure your mom wants to just be a grandparent, but now you're making her into a mother for your child, and that's something you're supposed to be doing.
I understand.
So when you say your mother has custody of your child, does that mean your rights were terminated?
No, ma'am. When I tested positive in drug court before I was sent to DDRF, they were required to call CPS, and when they did, CPS said that they were going to turn it over to the state, and that's when we did the paperwork. And she's, I mean, I still have custody and my rights, but she's got the majority percent of custody.
Let me explain something to you. I'm going to follow your agreement. Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Am I waiving my rights to
Are you
appeal?
waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
So here's the thing. You're going to go do your time. You're going to get out of prison. You're going to run over to your mother's house, pretend like your mom when you're not, because you have not been a mother to that child. You understand? So don't you go over there disrupting the schedule your mom has for the 5-year-old. Don't you go running over there trying to step in and act like you're going to do disciplining. Don't go over there and run over there and act like you're going to be the fun time parent because you're trying to make up for the fact that you've been a horrible parent in your child's life thus far. You understand?
Yes.
So you have not shown your child anything. And people will say that they love their children, but they continue to do things that negatively impact their life. So now your child has their grandmother acting as their mom. And that shouldn't be. If you're going to have children, you need to be the mother to that child. So don't go running over to your mom's house after you're released from prison and try to step in and take over. You understand? I represented people all the time. your child does not like and it negatively impacts them when you keep making promises that you can't keep. And I know right now, when I sentence you to prison, you're going to say, I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to not use anymore. I'm going to get a job. This is what's going to happen. And then the first thing that goes bad when you step out of prison, that's when people start using again. And then that means if you have your child with you, you will have taken him on another journey of heartbreak. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge, I understand.
If I could order it, I would, but this isn't a civil court. All right, I'm going to grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Reject any cases arising out of new number 1 in the instant case. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Judge.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Judge.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
We can go off the record. Ms. Rangel,
Yes.
you heard the speech I gave the other inmate, correct?
Yes, about Stephen Tyler.
Yes, that applies to you. And you know what else applies to you because you have a child? If you end up having custody of your child lives with you, and you end up taking some drugs and you don't know who made those drugs because people are just throwing whatever they throw in to drugs, you don't want your child to find you overdosing. That would be hard on a little boy, you understand, or hard on any young child. So get your life together. And if you don't want to get your life together, then don't be in your child's life, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Send Christmas cards and presents through the mail. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Rangel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, you can let them know that Ms. Rangel can go back.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, do you know what seat number she was in?
There was no seat number attached to her. It just said
Thank you.
187th Rangel.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thank you, Marcus.
Brenna, did you receive the exhibits from Joe Ray on that other case?
Yes, I did.
I'm trying to clear out my mailbox because anything over 20 documents, even when you delete them, it's a problem. Mary, have you received any paperwork? Mary Peterzak.
I sent the plea paperwork about 10, 12 minutes ago.
All right, Norma, can you give Mary Peterzak a call? Because our client is in the breakout room by himself.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, Judge, sorry about that. Mary Petrashek here. I got the email from the prosecutor, so
Yes.
I'm gonna go over that with Mr. Campbell.
All right, he's in the breakout room. Your client is the last person here.
Excellent, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Oscar Hernandez.
Hi, Judge. I'm still on from the 9 o'clock docket this morning. I had a Myra Santos.
Yes, she was sent back. She was being disruptive.
Yeah,
The deputies couldn't-
that's the issue, Judge. If you might remember, this is the gal that we believe has mental issues, and we pretrial services kept on telling her and verifying she had an appointment with mental health, and she
Yes.
still wouldn't show up the next day.
Yes.
Well, today, of all things, Judge, I found her to be a lot more in control,
Mhm.
and she was able to talk with me a little bit.
Yes.
However, maybe the reason I think that she's in control of it is she remembered a conversation I had with her while she was on bond, trying to explain to her about her failures to appear. And then she demanded that I submit to a polygraph test. But it wasn't like in a crazy way. It was like she just wanted to confirm our conversation. So my question to you, did anybody else get a chance to speak to her? Because I've been
No.
holding off on filing a psych eval, hoping that mental health was going to go visit her, as we've been told the last
Let
several
me
times
send
we've
you,
been to court.
let me send you to in a breakout room with Miss Ferguson because I'm having her recalled for Friday. Miss Ferguson, if you could go to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Hernandez, if you'll go to 1.
Judge, it's for me to see if she did a psych eval.
No, it's for you to see whether or not they've actually had someone to speak with her while she's been at the Bexar County Jail.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look that up, Judge. It doesn't look like it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Campbell, if you go to breakout room number 1 to be sworn in, please. Yes, we're. All right, who are the parties on Justin Campbell?
Mary Petrashek, you're ready. We're ready.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 1823, State of Texas versus Justin Campbell. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the
Mary
defense?
Petrashek for the defense, Judge. We're ready.
And are you Mr. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video but because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Campbell, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Conference, did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Campbell, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Campbell, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with this violation? I'm sorry, repeated violation of court order or bond conditions, family violence. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and give you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Campbell, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea? Mr. Campbell, are you still with us?
Yes, still here.
My question was, has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends community supervision. There's to be no contact with Jesse, Jessie, Santillan, Santillan. State will withdraw the motion to revoke under County Court Cause number 643093. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. In addition to that, part of the plea bargain was for a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service.
That's outside the plea bargain.
My
agreement.
apologies, your judge, you're right. That's below the line. My
No problem.
apologies.
No problem. So did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
All right, state, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, and regular UAs. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Campbell, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call them, the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Oh, yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I know that Mr. Campbell, this court has definitely gotten his attention as far as his actions and what he needs to do in the future. He is young and he understands that this is it for him. He can't contact her, even if it's to ask to see his daughter. He understands that there's a protective order in place. And even when that protective order expires, that it is a condition of the probation that he not have any contact with her. And he wants the opportunity to prove to this court that he is capable of following those instructions, and he understands why those conditions are in place as well.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes, Your Honor.
why do you have a protective order against you? I don't know if you understand that or not. Why do you think there's a protective order?
Because in the past I was hard on drugs, and all I wanted to do is just be with my baby mama and my daughter.
Okay, the co-reporter couldn't understand what you were saying. Hold your head up and explain to the court, why do you think you have a protective order?
Because I wanted to see my daughter and be with my daughter's mom.
No. I'm talking about from the 45th District Court, there is a protective order. And it's agreed protective order. You're not to be around Jesse Santillan. You're not to contact, call, email, text. All contact is supposed to be through attorneys. My question for you is, why do you think that order is in place? Because people just don't get protective orders out of the blue. I can't go and get a protective order from somebody named John Doe that I've never met. I can't go to the 45th court and say, oh, can I have a protective order against John Doe? Why? I don't know. I just feel like getting one. So why was a protective order given in this case? Why was it agreed to? What was going on? Was there violence? That's yes or no?
Yes, verbally.
All right. So why are you pretending like you don't know what was going on?
I didn't understand the question, but
All right, so back to my question. Why was there a protective order in place?
there was violence verbally, and I told her some things and she got scared and she put a protective order on me.
All right, so why are you, this is more than just a violation of protective order. It's sort of like a stalking, because I've read in here where you say, you look beautiful. I saw y'all at your grandparents' house. I'm at your house. So what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
No, I was passing over the highway and I seen her. You could see her house right there passing on the highway.
So you're saying you saw her house from the highway?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this is more than one occasion. See, I'm trying to figure out what's your problem, because both parties have agreed on probation, but I don't know if this is going to be enough for you not to see her, because there's already been an order in place and you stood before a judge with this. So you didn't obey their order. Why would I think you would obey mine?
Because I'm willing to get this out the way, and I just want to change my life and not have to deal with anything.
Isn't that what you told the judge in the 45th District Court? That you're ready to get this out of your life and you're going to do better and you're trying to change your ways?
Yes.
All right. Why was CPS in your life?
I never had CPS.
Well, it states in here that there's a caseworker involved.
I have no idea.
All right. What drugs were you using?
I was on meth and heroin.
When's the last time you used meth and heroin? And when I say last time, I mean before you were taken into custody.
Right after I got out of jail in 2020, in the beginning of in January.
All right, and what were you in jail for in 2020?
For aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Does anybody know what happened to that case?
This is the first time hearing about it, Judge. The only other case I know about is it's like a failed to ID in LaSalle. That may be the one in 2019 that was reduced to a misdemeanor, but
Does anyone know about this aggravated assault case that he's talking about? Because I don't know anything about that.
I don't see an aggravated assault, Judge.
Who's the complainant in that case, Mr. Campbell?
One of my ex, Misty Perez.
How many children do you have?
2.
And who is the mother of those children?
Jesse Santillan.
The mother of both of the children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. You're not having any withdrawals, are you?
No, Your Honor.
And Judge, if I may, it was originally the one that defense was speaking about. It was originally an ag assault, but it was reduced to assault bodily injury family. And he spent almost a year in county jail.
Okay. All right. When's the last time you were employed and what were you doing?
The last time I was employed was, I'll say about around January.
Okay, you need to keep your head up, Mr. Campbell, and you need to keep your voice up. When's the last time you had a job?
During December and January.
And what were you doing?
Home remodeling and landscaping.
All right, and how old are you?
28.
And if you're released, where will you be living?
With my friend.
Who is this person?
Thomas Martinez.
And what does he do?
He gets disabilities.
All right, and how old is this person?
He's 42.
Okay. Where is your family?
My family's in Lido.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
And what are you going to be doing with the rest of your life?
I want to invest in businesses so I could, in the future, give to my daughter, my kids, my son.
Have you ever had any type of mental health issues?
No, Your Honor.
Have you ever been diagnosed with anything?
No.
Have you ever received any type of drug treatment?
No.
And you're saying Child Protective Services has never been involved in your life with your children?
That's correct.
How long were you using drugs? When did you start?
I started when I was 19.
And have you done any type of treatment, inpatient treatment?
No.
When's the last time you talked to your family?
I'll say about last weekend.
So they know you're in jail?
Yes.
And what do they think about that?
They say it's my fault that I put myself here.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. $1,500 fine, that will be probated. No contact with Jesse Santillan. Withdraw MTR in county court cause number 643093. 120 hours of community service restitution. The court will deduct 40 of those hours if you complete the COVID vaccination. I'm not ordering you to do COVID vaccination, but if you do it, then that will be 40 less hours you have to do. The court will not accept payment in exchange for the remaining community service hours. You will have to do those. Parenting classes. The UA hotline upon release. ISF, do they have availability for him, Rebecca, the substantive ISF?
I think we would need to do the state ISF local, the local ISF.
All right, so local ISF. Rebecca, or either federally drug court, which either one has a opening available.
Judge, the local ISF, I think that focuses on cognitive, not so much the substance.
I think he needs both. He needs substantive plus cognitive. So that will be fine.
Okay.
So see if what the time wait is for local ISF and set him up for felony drug court. Have them interview him in felony drug court, just to at least have him on the wait list. Field visits, random. 2 times per month. Proof of employment. Within 40 days of release. No employment as a home healthcare provider or any employment involving minors. Partial GPS upon release. Waive or defer fees. Place on indigent status. And Mr. Campbell, when I say partial GPS for you to go to work, there's going to be a zone that you're not going to be able to be in. And that includes any zone around where Jessie Santillan is. And obviously, you know where she stays because you're passing her house on the freeway. So you had better pick a different freeway route. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's to be regular Zoom reporting or either in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, you have to do it in person. Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Campbell, is there anything else you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
And as a part of the protective order from the 45th court, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as a part of that order, you're not allowed to contact the complainant in any way, shape, or form. The only person who can contact the complainant is your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can go off the record, Mr. Campbell, from here on out. Every single choice you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that can result in me going to prison for 5 years? Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when I say no contact, I mean no contact. Is there anything that you don't understand about the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1. I'm sorry, let me move you so to pop up. I'll send you to number 2. Probation will go over conditions with you. Then everyone, we're gonna stop live stream. We are going to actually be back on tomorrow, Wednesday. Brenda, the holiday always throws me off when we're on holiday. It's like, what? Monday just slipped by? So we'll be back on Wednesday at 9 a.m. So I'm going to stop live stream.